Hello, this is Irene with SaugaTalks. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm here in my studio, as always, with fascinating people in tech. And before we go any further, please follow us, okay? We're on LinkedIn, we're on X, we're on YouTube, and fascinating people who are so generous with their time, with their expertise and experiences here in my studio. They'll appreciate the kind of buzz we create together, because it's all about collaboration, it's all about knowledge sharing here at SaugaTalks, but also about engagement and hearing back what's interesting, what's resonating, what exactly you want us to cover in upcoming episodes. And with no further ado, today Dr. Robin Kira is with me. Hello, Robin, how are you?
Hey, Irene, thank you very much for having me and having me back.
It's my pleasure. Yes, I think we're speaking for second time here, and I'm a huge fan of yours in all the social platforms I mentioned, right? But at the same time, I know you're a big on TikTok.
I think we have almost 600,000 followers, 20 million views each month. And I always say it's great to have a career on a video channel, even though your face is actually made for a career in radio.
But we want to hear everything, okay? How
Yes.
you achieved that success.
Yep.
So let's start somewhere, because again, the bubble I'm in on LinkedIn and all the like kind of business-like settings
Yep.
is that companies all have content strategy by now, okay? All, big or small, all right? They all making same mistakes, okay? I see some silly things out there that should not be there anymore, right? So speaking with expert like yourself, all right, let's talk about content strategy and tech in a way that everyone seems to be, an expert now, and they're not. You are. So where do you think we are in 2024 in terms of thinking the strategy and executing that strategy?
I think the biggest question is, so we are a marketing agency for the insurance and finance industry. Just that's what we do to earn a living. But what we see in both industries is that a lot of companies don't have a strategy for social media. Social media is still an add-on, something that came up a few years ago, but it's not taken into consideration when they make up their strategy. They have their distribution channels and a little bit of branding here, sponsorship there, but they don't put social media in its core, and you should not. But what you should do is actually look, where do your clients spend time awake? And when your clients, your target group, spends a lot of time on LinkedIn, or 30% of their wake time in the internet, or 50%, you better should be there. And I always say, at a large conference when I hold a keynote, is, do you allocate your marketing and sales budgets the same way your target group allocates his or her time on the different various channels? And in 99.9% of the time, the answer is no.
What's the good thinking process, okay? Because if you speak with marketing, business, and even technical teams, okay? Because everyone encouraged to have now this social presence, all right? So it's not just, the marketing team job anymore, right? So what's your advice in terms of, rethinking what you do right now? Kind of, think, breathe, and just situate yourself. Yeah, what's kind of the good approach?
So what we see as a trend there is, back in the days when we started social media 10, 15 years ago, it was totally fine to do a selfie at an event and you got, 10,000s of views. And in order to really excel, in order to really make an impression, and because the demands of the target groups have risen so much, that actually non-specialists cannot satisfy this demand. What do I mean with that is, when I'm a CEO, you are not allowed to do your own LinkedIn posts anymore. You should not. That should be experts. If you look at profiles of Bill Gates, for example, or the Microsoft CEO, there are teams behind it, or the CEO of German bank or Deutsche Bank, and you see that it's all perfectly done, and that's what the people want. And even if they have an authentic post sprinkled into it, it's all planned and orchestrated. And this is my main message to decision makers out there. If you are a CEO, if you're managing director of a company, please don't do your LinkedIn yourself. let some professionals take over. You should always do your magic, but in the end, it's super important that you let professionals take over, because you need production quality, you need story quality, you need to attract people. And again, with a selfie Robin did 15 years ago, you should not start now. You should start with what Robin does today and others do today, and that's demands a lot of professional support.
You know what? That means improvisation. It's a well-prepared, heavy homework. How about that,
Yeah.
right? Everything would always look easy, nice and smooth, right? As you mentioned, right? It works with the professional. And of course, the better impression you want to make, you better invest in what you do. So got it,
Yeah.
right? Got it. Now, so we said we're going to talk about socialize to succeed, right? So what are the ways all this platform providing still? Because of course, the brand image, you have to take care of it, right? And your CEO is your face, right? But point is that, what do you do as if you're not the CEO? If you
So when I always urge then decision makers, if you have a sales force, especially sales forces that have large projects and products like super large software or something, I always say also they should not do content themselves. Have a provider coming in once a month, once a quarter, doing great pictures, great videos, and providing that, because the face is that what sells, even in a digital world, because people believe people. And so we always say, provide individualized content, but as a company, do it. Nevertheless, the question was, if I am working at a company right now, I want to be active on social, privately, or as in my role, what should I do? I see three trends here. Number one is video. Video is a large trend. And there's a certain reason, Irene, why you do this video show and not just, do a written interview. Second, it is production quality. Thank God iPhones and other the devices deliver great production quality. And even the cameras that are super great only cost a few thousand and don't cost millions or hundreds of thousands. And the third one is you need stories. If you come to an event, don't take a selfie and say, hey, I was here, but what are the three things I learned? Or these are my three keynotes I took away something, or these are the three most interesting meetings. These are the trends I see for regular content creators that are out there. And again, we reach tens, hundreds of thousands of people via LinkedIn. We have 30,000 followers, 40,000 followers there on Twitter too. So we produce each year 10,000s of posts and videos for us and clients. So we really know what's working actually in which algorithm for which client. But my main message, even though the bad news is CEOs need to have professional support, sales divisions need to have professional support. My main message, the positive message still is, you still can win with great content. You do with a good heart, trying to change and improve your industry. That's for sure. And but there are a few tricks you need to see and to adapt to today.
Got it. Yeah, very helpful indeed. And yet, you know what? The whole trend of democratizing production, okay, is now even worse than before, because guess what? We promised the world with Gen AI, okay? That's probably your favorite topic by now, because we were told not only with iPhone we can be great producers and great performers, which is not true, we know that. Now we all promised the world we all can be great marketeers, writers, artists, filmmakers, you name it, right? Because Gen AI at our fingertips, it's not expensive. You can be everything you are not. Can you please comment on this? Where you find this? Yeah. What's the
so I'm a big fan of AI, Gen AI. It's amazing what happens there. But I'm just preparing a keynote that says, if your content sucks today, AI won't help you. If you have no idea what actually to do without AI, then if you have AI, that doesn't help you. So again, Gen AI lowers the playing field. If you have a great idea, it can help you. It can help you to generate some ideas, but AI does not help you to get the great idea. So you need to have a concept, a strategy. You need to know your target group. You need to have a target for this target group, and I think that's super important to understand that AI will help you a lot, but but it still does not replace you using your mental capacities. And the second thing is we tested about 1,000 AI tools. We tested around 1,000 AI tools in marketing, and what we found, 99% don't keep their promise what they promise. And we see great use cases in picture optimization, in replacing parts of pictures, in repairing audio, in helping a video. We see great things there, but we don't have the one killer app where you just say, you're like, please give me the perfect post that goes viral. This doesn't exist yet, and I doubt it ever will. So if people are very good at content creation, AI helps them to be super efficient, super quick. Again, we have a small team, 20, 30 people producing thousands of videos. It's only possible because we have great technology at our fingertips. But that's actually a little bit the challenge here that we are at the beginning of AI in content creation and marketing. But again, for the person out there that wants to do a great job, is actually a great news, but still we don't have the great killer AI yet.
That was my next question. Okay, we want to hear great news despite this all, right? Because we all got kind of our feet wet trying tools, endless post in my feed, right? Do this tool, do that tool. All I know that don't rely on tool, okay? So question is still, to those out there, right? Will those tools replace marketeers? No. Will those tools help marketeers? So how to be the smart marketeer who uses the tools and just becoming the best because of it?
Exactly. I think that's the strategy. That's also the reason why we tested so many of these tools. There are great single one examples. For example, we use Tactic. That's a tool where you can record actually meetings, and it does the summary of the meeting automatically in any language you want. Amazing. The DeepL is a great program how you can translate. Amazing. Saves a ton of time, even though I'm capable of speaking English even with a strong German accent, but it helps. DeepL helps me really much to accelerate in our team the process of translation, even though you still have a native who goes through the text and says, oh, this word is not right. Or you have translation programs that can actually translate voice immediately or almost in real time. So amazing tools you have with gigantic possibilities. But again, there's not a one single tool that says, please give me the great post. That doesn't exist yet. But that's actually good news. It might exist at some day, but I think we all had the fantasy 10, 15, 50 years ago that we want technology that, solves everything and we just sit at the beach and drink pina colada. But I think I'm not sure if I will see that ever.
Not here yet, for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. So can you give the advice in terms of, let's say, the minimal platform stack, okay, for company, let's say, not a huge enterprise, they are the world on their own, right? But companies somewhere in between small business and huge enterprise, right? Medium-sized companies, right? So what's a good set that you advised for your clients to acquire, thinking of platforms, thinking of technology, and maybe minimal even tool advice? Yeah.
So it really depends on the target group. Where is your target group? And my big advice is don't listen to what the target group says. If you go to a conference in B2B decision makers and ask, who of you is on TikTok? Nobody will raise his or her hand. And if you say, who reads books? Everybody will say, hey, I read books, even though, and I am guilty myself, don't have the time to read so much. So I read maybe 10 books a year maximum, to be honest. Maybe it's more 5-ish. What does it tell you? People answer not the truth, which is completely normal, but what's socially acceptable or what they think is socially acceptable. So don't look what people tell you when what they're using for channels. Look what people do. There's a great story of a headmaster of a high school in California who actually saw a lot of his children using a yellow app at some point, and then he invested $10,000, I think, in Snapchat, and it became one of the richest schools in California by that. And that's the strategy, how he found out. He looked on the screen of the people. So if you are in a plane, or if you are at a conference, or if you are at the working place, see what people really, really do with their phone, and then you know where your target group is. And then you need to go there. B2B, you need to be on LinkedIn. If you're on B2B, you're not on LinkedIn, and you are not belong to the top 10 channels in your industry, that's a problem. If you want to sell an end consumer anything, and you're not on TikTok, fire your CMO.
TikTok. Okay. That's the elephant in the room. In lots of conversation I'm having here, it looks like by now people more or less understand LinkedIn. More or less. They kind of wary of X with all the changes, with all the different audiences there. It's harder to do business there. I don't blame them. All right. But TikTok is something else. You're absolutely right. No adults in their right mind accept that they're on TikTok looking at the cats and other travel videos, God knows, other jokes, who knows what it is, right? How did you make TikTok working for you for business? And I'm sure you help your clients to succeed there. That's my question.
So we always do a lot of research and development and see when new channels pop up. It's the expectation of our clients that we tell them, is it something that's going to be big or not? And that's totally, this expectation is totally right. We were super quick on Clubhouse. We were super quick on Threads. In our market, the DACH region, Europe, Threads is dead. It's a beaten horse. It's a cheap copy. Nobody is there except people in marketing departments. And it can make sense for some companies to be there out of certain reasons, but it's niche reasons. If you want to reach customers, TikTok is where the people are. And we were there super early. But to be quite honest, people always say, oh, Robin, you're so early on LinkedIn and so early on X and you're so successful. And then on TikTok, I'm like, 1 billion people before me downloaded that app. I mean, you don't need to be a genius to go to the app charts, see a new app, download it and try it out. It's like, I wish I would be a genius, but I'm not. So I tried out early and then we tested massively. And we have several channels there for us, but also for clients, which are all in the area of finance. And my favorite story is the story of OCC. It's one of Europe's leading insurer for classical cars, which the target group actually is 45 and if you are honest, 50 or 55 plus. And we started the channel also in 2020 and everybody was saying, oh my God, the target group is not there. But within the first 3 videos, we saw the target group is there through 2 things. First, in the comments, we saw the construction of certain sentences in a way that spoke it's older people. And the second one is the amount of knowledge that people had when, old timers, classical cars were shown, the amount of knowledge they had, like, oh, this is not the Mercedes from 1973. It's actually one of December 12th, 72, because you see this is red and not blue. So people are earlier, also demographics are earlier in certain channels than actually people assume. And funnily enough, this OCC case or TikTok, even TikTok thought the old people or older demographics were not there, but we knew it. And there's a funny statistical fact. Until a certain age, people are honest in the internet about their age. But to be quite honest, if some software asks me when you're born, I'm like, I'm not going to scroll down to 1875. So a lot of people, especially people are a little bit older, they say, okay, let's do 2095. So the statistics show that they're not senior people in there, but the reality is there's millions of reasons why that's the case. So that's why you need to be active. How do you get to become successful on TikTok today? It's super strong stories. You need to produce videos that are native to that. But TikTok for me is just a metaphor for short video formats. For example, you have Instagram Reels, you have YouTube Shorts. And if you produce something for TikTok, please share it there too, and on Snapchat too. And you get millions and millions and millions of views if you do it right. And I think that's the magic.
Oh, I anticipate, somebody who listened to our conversation today, okay, going to their bosses and saying, you know what, let's stop everything we do. I heard Dr. Kier, he spoke with Irene, and they said, you know what, no matter how early or late you're entering the platform, right, you still have a chance if your story authentic, if you're talented enough to grab that attention, right? So let's do it now. What's your approach with a client who's really overly excited, but yet you have to advise and be consultative, responsible adult in the room, how not to get carried away, basically?
So the main topic is that you, I think, need to the main topic is you need to provide value to your end consumer, the people you want to really target. If it's a young audience, entertainment, information, infotainment. If it's an older demographic, it changes a little bit. The idea is and it also depends if you want to do sales right away, then it's more like a performance marketing case where you have, 10 core creatives you chop off into 300 different versions and you run that through your ad campaigning system. And there you find 3, 4, 5 ads that really run well and that convert people. Or you say, no, I want to do branding and I want to really establish a brand and a channel there, which we have done several times. The first thing we do too is it doesn't help you if you copy the successful of today. You need to copy the successful people of tomorrow. And that's difficult. That's super difficult. You need to see which one are super successful now. How can I take elements, translate them into my area of expertise and build it? So for example, we see on TikTok, it's, for example, reaction videos currently, and also other social media channels, but also super highly scripted stories, actually, where people tell certain stories. What the people going to boss's office can say is, to be quite honest, for a few $100K a year, you can become the best channel in your industry all around the world. It doesn't cost you millions and millions of dollars like TV or something. But what you need to do is consistency. So you need to take 3, 6, 9 months to test a lot, and then slowly build up your channel and to get a lot of attention. And at some point also do performance marketing in order to get a return on invest.
This is the perfect time in our conversation. Okay, I encourage everyone, if you're not following yet Dr. Robin Kira and digital scouting, do it right now. It's a lot of fun. Besides tons of information, it's just a lot of fun. And as he mentioned, he has the talented team who really entertain you while providing valuable information. Absolutely, do that as we speak. And I just want to divert the conversation a little bit to attention hacking. The reason I'm bringing it up, because Dr. Robin Kira authored the book, okay, Attention Hacking, The Power of Social Media Selling in Insurance and Finance. Please tell us about the book, because insurance and finance, they're kind of conservative industry. They're not jumping on the wagon, based on my experience, to implement something new and just try and test and be happy and go there. How do you navigate? Yeah.
I'm a former insurance sales agent, and when I called people, it was the following: "Hello, this is Robin from your agency, la 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 la," and they're like, "Oh yeah, please come." That never happened. They were like, "Oh, I need to go to the dentist, have a root canal fixed." That's 10 times more pleasure than have this insurance guy coming in. On the other hand, we experienced when people had dramatic damages, also passing of important family members, and then there was a term life insurance in place that saved their house, that people were quite happy that there is something like insurance, or people in health insurance that got a 500,000 euro cancer treatment or something. They were quite happy that they had the health insurance. And so there's a dramatic gap between the image of the insurance and finance industry and the significance in everyday's life. And I'm most, sad about it. Or people, because when they buy a stupid car, which goes down in value, they get a beer from their friends. But when they buy liability insurance or buy real estate, they don't. So that's a big, big gap. And that made me always very mad. And I found this social media thing at some point and said, hey, you can really excite people. You can entertain them. You can build a relationship to people. Why don't banks and insurers and other companies use that more? And talking about the book, in Germany, it's called like a survival guide in the social media jungle. And it's actually a call to action for everybody out there to just start social media, do something. And the German book is a little bit older. It's like 3 years old. That still was possible actually to start and get some attention. And the English version is also totally updated and new, also by Wiley. Thank you very much, Wiley, for doing it. And the English version is a little bit more out of the corporate perspective, how to actually set up teams, what is a good post, what's a bad post, what strategies work. And it's actually a guideline You should read it in 4 days, not more. It should be a little bit of fun too and humor. And afterwards, you have a good guideline how to start or accelerate and scale your social media for your company. And my main message is it's not joke anymore. It's serious work. It's a science and an art. And it takes a lot of effort and energy, and you can build it in-house. No problem about that. But it's a professional team. If you say, oh, this young person can do it, or let's my cousin can do it, that's the wrong approach.
Nothing against cousins and young people here, right?
No.
I'm just teasing you. Yes, the answer is actually, be mindful, right? Just if you have the purpose, just make sure you have enough resources and investment actually, right, in that area of your business. So that's kind of 2x2 sort of rule, right? Everyone agrees. And yet, I'm sure you have to convince clients, right, that they have to be a little more mindful. What about some struggles that you're still facing out there?
So most of our clients have people on board that see it the same way and say, I'm so happy that somebody out there that helps us with this stuff. We are not in the business of convincing. If I see that somebody in 2024 really debates me on that LinkedIn is relevant for your corporate channel, or that they still debate that TikTok is a thing and short videos for B2C, to be quite honest, that's a lost cause. I only go to those where I see, okay, where then it makes sense, and we only debate about how much, how big, and I think that's something. Yeah.
Fantastic. Very easy. So don't immediately qualify every client, right? That's just a general business advice, right? Just pick the one that you know you're going to do business with. Otherwise,
hopefully,
waste of time and energy.
It's like, Irene, it's like with marketing. 50% works, 50% doesn't, but I never know which 50% I'm working on currently.
True. And that's life. So looks like you're still smiling, years in the business, right? Career in insurance, right? Lots of things, I'm sure, that went your way. Lots of things did not go your way. Okay. What kind of lesson learned we can share in terms of, being in trenches, seeing the success, and at the same time, I'm sure, evaluating, right? Every day and very often, right? What to do, what not to do.
I mean, one message is everything takes double the time and is double as much as expensive as you thought. I think that's that. The insurance industry and finance industry has a lot of great people who refer you. So our main business is marketing activities for ourselves, but also referrals. So a lot of people refer each other. That totally makes sense. And my main lesson is that if you're very good at something, and Irene, as you are, if you're very good at something and something comes really easy to you, don't communicate it as easy, because other people have the audacity to think it's also easy for them, but it's not. It's super hard. I have a big friend. He's heart surgeon, and for him it's the biggest fun in the world, and for him it comes easy. But to be quite honest, if I stand in the operation room, I'm pretty sure I could not transfer that hard. But with other, and for that, it's an example for everybody. It's a no-brainer, But for other in other areas of expertise, people have the audacity to think, oh, I can stand in the ER and pump that hard. But it's our fault because we make it look too easy. And I think that's my biggest learning. Don't make it look too easy, because people who are very good at other things may think that that it's easy for them too, but it's not. And I love working with clients that know that my strength is not theirs, and they are so happy that somebody does it for them.
Complementary skills, right? And believe me, I know the weight of the words you just mentioned. Okay, so this is about selling yourself to the right people, at the right price. When you make it look very easy, people don't get the value of what you're providing. No. So that's part of the conversation, isn't it?
Totally.
Beautiful. Wow, time is flying. Okay, I can be here for hours because there's so many aspects and particular details we haven't touched. We're just scratching the surface. Hopefully the session is valuable to inspire people to look at Dr. Robin Kira, what his company achieved, right? You can do too, or just engage with digital scouting. How about that? Okay, let me plug this in because I'm confident that they will meet quality when they meet Dr. Kira.
And buy the book.
and buy the book. Buy the book, we'll provide the link. Okay, we'll provide the link because this is a collab we're doing here. And absolutely. So in the comments below this video, let us know. Let us know. It's about socializing. So it's about networking and just hearing each other. How about that? Dr. Kira, thank you so very much. In conclusion, can we maybe leave our audience with few takeaways from the session so they remember us by and they will think about, digital scouting, next thing they have the need?
I think the best thing is, that's why I think this podcast is so valuable, is force yourself once in a while to confront you with new stuff. Download a new podcast, listen to an episode which something doesn't look appealing on first sight. Download the app for fun and try it out. Maybe you stumble upon the new TikTok and you become the new TikTok star in your branch and industry. And for the rest, follow Irene and SaugaTalks, and that should do it.
Absolutely. This is the way to the new world, to the new. Thank you so very much. Very happy to host you again. Please come back with updates, with new books, with new ideas. Absolutely. Everyone, thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening to us. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.